Hi, Alex here from Rebeloper.com and welcome back to the second part tutorial on iCloud with SwiftUI. Now in this project we are going to fetch, delete and modify some data into our iCloud project. So make sure to subscribe and keep on watching, and let's dive into Xcode. So in the previous episode we have added an item to CloudKit and it was really awesome. We have set up our dashboard and we have added some CloudKit helper classes as functions. And then now we are going to fetch, delete and modify. So first of all, let's take a look at our fetch. And where is our fetch function in this SwiftUI view? And it is on the onAppear, and we are fetching our results, and on the result we get a new item. So then we append that new item to the list elements items, and basically that's it. And we are going to show or rather print out the error if there is any error, if there are any errors. Okay, so that is what we are going to start off. And we are going to go to the CloudKit helper. And as you can see, I already have this fetch function, static function with a completion, and it will give us back a result type, and it will have list element or an error. So first thing we need to do is create a predicate. So let pred equals ns predicate, and it will have a value of true. Okay. Next up, what we need is a sort descriptor. So let sort equals, and again, an ns sort descriptor, and we want to sort by some keys and to be ascending. So the key is a string, and if we go ahead and take a look at our data, we see that there is created at a creation date basically for our items. So let's go back and let's add in here creation date, okay, and ascending force. Okay, now that we do have a predicate, we want to create a query. So let query equals ck query, and we will need a record type and a predicate, and the record type is the one that we have created in the last episode, and that is a record type dot items. So let's just scroll down here and type record type dot items, and the predicate that we have added here. Great. Okay, next up we need to add the sort descriptor to this query. So query dot sort descriptors, and this is an array, so we are just going to add a sort here. Okay, now we have our query, so what we need to do next is create an operation. So that is an operation, and that is a ck query operation. I know this sounds a little bit too complicated and there are a lot of steps, but okay, bear with me. And we want to add this query there, so query. And now we want to kind of limit or customize this operation, and we will have desired keys and some limit. Okay, so operation desired keys, and that is again an array, and we will want text here, and operation dot limit, that is results limit, and that is, let's say, 50. Now that we do have our operation, we can finally add that to our public database. So ck container dot default, there we go, dot public database dot add, and our operation. Okay, and basically that's it. All we need to do now is listen for it, and I will listen after the results limit line. So First of all, let's take care of the error. So operation dot query completion block equals, and let's add in here a completion, and we will get back a cursor and an error, but we are not interested in the cursor at this moment, only in the error. Now, if the error exists, so if let error equals error, then we want to complete with a failure. So completion dot failure error. Okay, and we want to return. And basically that's it. Now, because we are on the background thread, it is always a good thing to move on to the main thread. So dispatch queue dot main dot async, and let's add in here our code. Okay, cut that out and paste that in. Okay, that takes care of our error, but what if we do get back a result, and that is our record fetched block. So operation dot record fetched block equals, and here we will get back a record in. Now let's take a look. We want in the result to get back a list element, so that is what we want to complete with. So we are going to construct this list element according to this record that we have just gotten. But first of all, let's go to the main thread, dispatch queue.main.async. There we go. And now let's get our ID. ID equals record.record ID. There we go. And let's let unwrap our text. Guard let text equals record text as string. Okay, else we want to basically return. Okay, and maybe have some error handling here, but yeah, let's just see if we do have, let's have a cast failure error here. There we go. And let's add our completion of failure with an error, CloudKit helper error dot cast failure. Okay, and that's that. And now that we do have our ID and our text, now we can create an element. So let element equals, and that is a list element, and we are just going to choose ID. Let's just go there, ID, UID, and we are just going to omit the UID because we are already having that inside the model. And here we have our ID for the record, and that is ID, and text is text. Oh, let's just tab there. So text. And finally, we want to complete with the success of our element. Okay, and basically that should be it. Let's build and run and see if we basically do get back our 3 elements. And yeah, there we go, Alex, and Rebeloper. And if you recall, we had those 3 elements already in the database. Okay, let's just try just to have some fun. Let's add a new element here, YouTube, and let's just add that in there. Okay, let's add it, YouTube, there we go. And let's refresh our browser so we would see that we also have 4 elements now. Okay, let's just wait for that. It's loading the container. Okay, let's query all of our records, and indeed we have 4 elements. Now, one thing that we could do is just build and run again and see that we would have, of course, all of those 4 elements. Now it's time to delete our elements, and that is pretty straightforward. Again, we are going to go to our content view and take a look at where we do delete, and that is on the long press gesture of our list items. And here we call our delete and we remove all, and then we just add the record ID. So yeah, basically we are reloading this list, but we still need to delete it. So let's go back to the CloudKit helper and scroll all the way down to the delete record ID with the completion handler, and the result is ckrecord ID, and of course if there is any, we have our error. So this couldn't be simpler. So ck container dot default, and we are of course in the public cloud database, and just start typing delete with record ID. And we do have our record ID, so let's just use that. And with the completion handler, of course, you will have the ID and the error. Both of them are optional. So record ID and the error. So we want to check, first of all, if we do get an error, if let error equals error, then we want to complete with the failure of our error. Pretty straightforward. Let's return after that. Now we want to guard, let unwrap our record ID. So record ID equals record ID. We need a let here. Else we want to also return, and let's complete completion dot failure and CloudKit helper error. I believe it is the cast failure. That's true. Okay, now that we do have our record ID, let's just simply complete with a success, completion.success record ID. Okay, how awesome is that? Okay, now let's just test it out. Let's see, record ID. This is a capital D. Okay, let's just fix this record ID. Let's build it out, and hopefully on the long tab we should be able to delete. So let's delete this first one. Okay, and it says on the log successfully deleted. How awesome is that? Let's delete Rebeloper. Great. Really, really nice. Now it's time to modify rather than update the elements. And if we double tap here, you will see that we get this extra text field with a done. And if we just change it to, let's say, Rebeloper, and we say done, well, it should update, but currently we don't have anything implemented just yet. Let me just show you under the content view where we do have this modify. There we go. Saving and modify in CloudKit. Okay, so we have this modify with the edited item, and we do get back a result. And with that in mind, we just reload the list. I don't want to go into details because this is an iCloud tutorial, but you know, just take a look at the code. Okay, now CloudKit helper, let's just go all the way down to our final function, modify item with a completion. First thing that we want to do is get this item's record ID, because then we can basically fetch it and then save it with the modifications. So first of all, let's guard, let unwrap our record ID equals item dot record ID. Else we are just simply going to return. Okay. Let's return here. Now we want to fetch it. So ck container dot default dot public cloud database fetch with record ID. There we go. And we are just going to add that record ID in there. And we have a ck record and an error. So record and error. Okay, so now we have our error and our record. Both of them are optional. So if let error equals error, then we want to basically return. But before we do that, let's hit completion with a failure of our error. And all of this needs to be done on the main thread. So dispatch queue.main.async. Rather yet, I will put everything here so I don't have to type it all the way out. Okay, so dispatch queue.main.async, and there we go. We handle the error inside and there. And while we are at it, let's just do the same for our delete function. So dispatch queue.main.async. There we go. Really awesome, because yeah, these are all background operations, and we do want to come back to our main thread because we want to update our UI. Okay, now that we have taken care of the error, let's let unwrap our record equals record. There we go. Else we want to return, and yeah, now that we do have our record, let's have this record's text as this new text. So record dot text. So we are going to grab its text equals item, the item that we have added in here to be modified, dot text as a ckrecord value. There we go. And now the record is basically changed into this new text. Now all we need to do is save it. So ckrecord, ck container dot default dot public database dot save, and we are going to use the one with the record, and with the completion handler record. You already know the drill. Error. We are already on the dispatch queue main async, but let's just do that again because we have managed to go to the background thread again. So async, and let's see, if let error equals error, I'm just going to copy and paste that out. And otherwise we want to grab our record, guard let record, there we go. And now it's time to build up our list item. That is, we need an ID and a text. So let's see, let ID equals record dot record ID. There we go. And now it's time for the text. And we need to guard let unwrap the text. Guard let text equals record text as string. Else we are just going to return again. Okay, you could just add in here a completion if you wanted to with those errors. I'm just going to be brief here, and let element is list element. There we go. With UID we don't need it, and the record ID is this ID, and the text is the text. Okay, finally we want to completion.success and our element. Okay, and now that we do get our element and we do complete with our element, our content view will use this item and will populate the list with the corresponding changes. Okay, let's build and run one final time, and that is it for iCloud. So what we need to do is just, let's say, Alex, long press to delete, and let's add a new one, let's say Rebeloper. There we go, let's add that in there. Now let's double tap to add it. There we go, Rebeloper, and I will just change it to Alex, and done. There we go, it has been changed to Alex. And just so we double check, let's build and run, and we should see Alex and YouTube. There we go. How awesome is that? iCloud, CloudKit, and SwiftUI in action together. So that is it for iCloud with SwiftUI. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and hit that notification bell, because in my next video I am going to talk about Apple sign-in. That is right. Go ahead and subscribe to if you want to take a look at that. In the meantime, go ahead and check out these two videos that I have over here. I talk a lot about SwiftUI, app development with iOS, and in general how to be a smart coder. So as usual, I will see you in the next one.